The casket hit the bottom of the grave with a thud that echoed like a referee's whistle in an empty stadium. And that's when my brother Alex turned to me. His eyes wild with something I couldn't name. Grief? Maybe? Or the kind of rage that simmers under a loser's breath after the final buzzer. "Ben, you saw it too, right? Dad's ghost is laughing at us from the bleachers," he whispered, his voice cracking like the dry Ohio clay under our polished shoes. But before I could nod or shove him away from the edge of hysteria, the lawyer stepped forward with that manila envelope. My name scrawled on it in Coach's looping script, and the world tilted like a bad pass in overtime. In that split second, as the dirt began to rain down, I realized the trophy gleaming in Alex's fist wasn't the real prize. It was this letter, heavy as a confession, that would rip us both open and leave nothing but echoes on the field we once called home. I guess I should back up because nothing in Willow Creek, Ohio, population 4,200, give or take a few souls who bolted after graduation, prepares you for the way loss carves you out like a pumpkin at Halloween. Alex and I were the Harlan twins, mirror images down to the cowlick that never quite tamed on the left side of our foreheads. Both 6'1" with shoulders broad from years of Coach Harlan's. Wait, no, Coach Reynolds' drills, though everyone in town still called him Harlan after Dad skipped out on Mom when we were toddlers. Coach had stepped in like the father we never had, molding us into the stars of Willow Creek High's football team. I was the quarterback, the golden boy who could thread a needle with a spiral from 50 yards out. Alex was the running back, all fury and footwork, the one who plowed through defenders like they were tissue paper. We were unstoppable together, the dynamic duo that led the Cougars to state semis our senior year. Coach used to say we were two halves of the same heartbeat, but hearts break funny, don't they? Especially when they're tangled up in secrets you didn't even know you were keeping. It started unraveling the day Coach collapsed on the sideline during summer two-a-days. We were in the blistering July heat, helmets off, guzzling Gatorade like it was holy water, when he clutched his chest and went down like a felled oak. "Reynolds!" I yelled, dropping my water bottle, the plastic cracking against the turf as I sprinted to him. Alex was right behind, his cleats tearing divots in the grass. The paramedics came fast, sirens wailing through the cornfields that boxed in our little town. But by the time they loaded him onto the stretcher, his eyes were already glazing over, fixed on the goalposts like he was willing one last play. "Heart attack," they said later. "Massive. No warning, no second half." He was 58, looked 40 from the outside, with that salt and pepper buzz cut and the whistle that could pierce eardrums from the 50-yard line. The funeral was a circus, the kind of small-town spectacle where the whole county shows up with casseroles and condolences. The First Baptist Church overflowed onto the lawn, folding chairs groaning under the weight of ex-players in ill-fitting suits, cheerleaders dabbing mascara-streaked cheeks, and Mayor Hargrove droning on about Coach's legacy of grit and grace. Alex and I sat in the front pew, flanking Mom, who clutched her rosary like it was the only thing keeping her from unraveling. She was a wisp of a woman, her red hair gone gray at the temples since Dad's vanishing act, and she'd always leaned on Coach like he was the brother she never had. "He was family," she'd whisper to us at night, her voice thick with that Midwestern stoicism that masked the ache. But Alex, he was a live wire, fidgeting in his seat, his knee bouncing like a piston. We'd always been like that, him the fire, me the steady flame. Even as kids, when we'd wrestle in the backyard over the last Pop-Tart, it was Alex who drew first blood, accidental-like, and me who bandaged it up after. Now, with Coach gone, that balance felt off-kilter. "This sucks, Ben," he'd muttered the night before, sprawled on my dorm bed back at Ohio State. We'd both landed scholarships, him on partial academic, me full-ride athletic. Who's gonna yell at us now? Who's gonna make it mean something? I'd pulled him into a hug then, our identical frames slotting together like puzzle pieces, and for a second, it was like we were 12 again, whispering ghost stories under the covers. But even then, I felt the shift, the way his breath hitched, the unspoken weight between us that had been building since sophomore year, when I caught him staring at Jake Ramirez in the locker room showers a beat too long. The service dragged, hymns floating heavy in the humid air, until Principal Whitaker took the podium. He was a balding man with a voice like gravel, and he cleared his throat before announcing the memorial tribute. "In honor of Coach Reynolds' unwavering dedication," he boomed, We present the inaugural Reynolds Trophy to the player who embodied his spirit most this season. The gym behind the church had been transformed into a makeshift hall of fame. Banners from 89 state champs draped like funeral shrouds, a spotlight rigged to the basketball hoop. Alex's name echoed off the rafters, and the crowd erupted as he strode up, all broad shoulders and forced grin, the trophy thrust into his hands like Excalibur. It was gold-plated, heavy, engraved with, "For the heart of the game." He hoisted it high, the light catching the facets, and for a moment, he looked invincible. Mom beamed through her tears, squeezing my hand. "Your brother's a star, Ben. Just like your dad would have wanted." But me? I clapped from the shadows, the polite twin, the one who always let Alex shine brighter. That's when the lawyer sidled up, Mr. Ellis, a wiry guy in a pinstripe suit that hung off him like it was borrowed from a taller ghost. "Ben Harlan?" he murmured, pressing the envelope into my palm. It was sealed with red wax, stamped with Coach's initials, J.R., James Reynolds, the man who'd taught us more than plays. He'd taught us how to stand tall when the world wanted you bent. He left specific instructions. "Read it alone. Tonight." My fingers trembled as I tucked it into my jacket pocket, the paper crinkling like a promise or a threat. Alex caught my eye from the stage, his triumph flickering with something sharper. Jealousy? Suspicion? The dirt was piling on the casket outside, and I swear I heard Coach's whistle in the wind, calling me to the huddle one last time. We buried him at Oakwood Cemetery just as the sun dipped low, painting the headstones in hues of burnt orange and regret. The town's brass band played Amazing Grace off-key, and as the final notes faded, Alex slung an arm around my shoulders, the trophy tucked under his other elbow like a security blanket. "To Coach," he toasted later at the wake, held in the VFW hall with its faded flags and formica tables groaning under Jell-O salads. The room buzzed with stories, how Coach had benched the mayor's son for showboating in '05, or the time he drove all night to bail Tommy Greer out of juvie after a bar fight. Laughter mingled with sobs, the American way of grief. Loud, communal, laced with Bud Light. I slipped away early, claiming a headache, the envelope burning a hole in my pocket. Back at Mom's double-wide on Elm Street, the one with the sagging porch and the Virgin Mary statue that Dad had bolted down before he ghosted. I locked myself in the room Alex and I had shared until college. Posters of Tom Brady and the Buckeyes peeled at the edges, dust motes dancing in the desk lamp's glow. My hands shook as I broke the seal, the wax crumbling like old dreams. Inside was a single sheet, yellowed, Coach's handwriting sprawling across it in black ink that bled slightly at the edges, as if written in haste or tears. "Ben." It began, no salutation, straight to the gut punch. "If you're reading this, I'm gone, and the field's a little emptier without my barking. You were always the quiet one, the thinker who saw the whole play before it unfolded. Alex has the fire, sure, but you've got the soul. That's why I'm trusting you with this. Not because I doubt him, God knows he's my bulldog, but because some truths are fragile, like a freshman holding the ball on third and long. You remember the summer of '02? When your dad lit out for parts unknown, leaving you boys with that hole in your chests. I saw it then, the way you carried it different from Alex. He punched walls, you built them higher. My breath caught. Coach had always noticed the invisible fractures, the ones we hid behind grins and gridiron glory. He'd pull us aside after practice, one at a time, offering life savers from his fanny pack and words that stuck like turf burn. For me, it was always about Dad, the ghost who sent birthday cards postmarked from Reno or Tulsa, promises scrawled in ballpoint that never materialized. "Your old man's a runner, Ben," Coach had said once, clapping my shoulder pads. "But runners trip. You're a stayer. That's rarer than a Hail Mary in double coverage." The letter went on, veering into territory that made my pulse thunder. "There's more to your story than you know. Your dad didn't just leave because of wanderlust or some broad in a casino. It was me, or us, rather. James and Harlan, we were thick as thieves back in '95, both linebackers at OSU dreaming of the pros. Fell hard for each other in the dorms, the kind of love that hits like a blindside sack. But this was Ohio, Ben. AIDS was ravaging the team, whispers about that gay plague, and coming out, that was career suicide, family Armageddon. Harlan bolted first, married your mom on the rebound, but the guilt ate him alive. He confessed to me one night in a Columbus dive, drunk on regret. I told him to stay gone, protect you boys from the mess. But he left me this. A smaller note fluttered out, brittle as autumn leaves, Dad's handwriting mirroring ours. Jimmy, forgive me. I couldn't be brave like you. Tell the boys when the time's right. Love always, H. I stared at the page, the room spinning like a botched snap. Coach and Dad? Lovers? The man who'd taught us to tackle fear head-on had hidden this for 30 years. A secret buried deeper than any fumble in the end zone. And now it was mine, a grenade with the pin half pulled. Alex, my mirror, my other half, had no idea. He'd idolized Coach like a saint, patterned his cocky swagger after Dad's faded photos. If he knew, God, the betrayal would gut him. But keeping it, that would carve me hollow, turn every brotherly rib into a lie. The trophy sat on the mantel downstairs, catching moonlight through the lace curtains, mocking me with its shine. I folded the letter, tucking it under my pillow, and lay there until dawn, the weight of it pressing like a fullback's shoulder. College waited. Fall camp in Columbus, the roar of the horseshoe. But Willow Creek had claws, and this truth was barbed wire around my ankles. Alex texted at 3 a.m. Can't sleep. Trophy feels wrong without you sharing it. Brothers forever. I typed back always. But my thumb hovered, the unsent words a shadow. What if forever's built on sand? Morning broke over the cornstalks like a reluctant quarterback. Gray skies threatening rain as Mom shuffled eggs in the kitchen. Her apron dusted with flour from the biscuits she'd burned in her sleepwalk through grief. Boys, eat up, she called. Her voice a fragile bridge over the chasm Coach's death had carved. Alex lumbered in first, hair tousled, the trophy dangling from his fist like a talisman. He plunked it on the Formica table, the clunk echoing my heartbeat. Check it out, Ma. Coach's ghost is riding my shoulder now. He flexed, half joking, but his eyes darted to me, probing for the crack I'd patched overnight. I forced a grin, sliding into the booth across from him, the letter a ghost in my jeans pocket. Looks good on you, bro. State semis MVP. Dad'd be proud. The words tasted like ash, invoking the man who'd sired us then vanished. His shadow longer now than ever. Mom set plates down, her smile wobbly. Both my stars. Coach always said you two were his legacy. She ruffled Alex's hair, then mine, her touch a reminder of simpler fractures. The ones time could mend with enough hot dish and high school rallies. We ate in that Harlan way. Alex dominating the conversation, recounting the wake's tall tales with exaggerated flair, while I nodded, interjecting just enough to keep the rhythm. But under the table, my knee jittered, betraying the storm. What would Alex do if he knew? We'd shared everything. Beds, secrets, the sting of crushes on the same cheerleader in 8th grade, only to laugh it off when neither made a move. But this? It rewrote our origin story, turned Coach from mentor to paramour, Dad from deadbeat to broken heart. And me, the keeper of the flame, now torchbearer for a fire that could scorch us all. After breakfast, Alex dragged me to the field, Reynolds Memorial Park, rechristened just last week with a brass plaque that gleamed under the drizzle. The grass was soggy, the goalpost skeletal against the weeping sky, but he insisted, one last scrimmage, for old times. He tossed me a ball from his truck bed, the leather worn soft from 1,000 throws. I caught it one-handed, the familiar heft grounding me for a beat. We ran patterns like it was Friday lights, him cutting left, me dropping back, the mud sucking at our sneakers. Hut! He barked, and I fired a bullet, perfect spiral, nestling in his gut. He hooped, spiking it into the end zone. That's my QB. Eat your heart out, Urban Meyer. For a moment it was us again, twins against the world, unbreakable. But as we collapsed on the 50, chests heaving, the rain intensifying, he turned serious. Ben, level with me. That envelope last night. What did Ellis give you? looked personal. His eyes, so like mine, narrowed with that twin intuition, the one that let him know when I was bluffing at poker or hiding a hangover. I hesitated, the letter's edges digging into my thigh. Just some old plays coach jotted down. Strategy stuff for college. He punched my arm, light but pointed. Bull, you think I can't read you like a zone defense? Come on, man. We're Harlans. No secrets. The plea hung there, raw as the chill seeping through my hoodie. I wanted to spill it, hand him the pages, watch his face crumple, then reform, stronger maybe. But the image stopped me. Alex, fire incarnate, storming the VFW to smash the plaque, or worse, confronting Mom with accusations that would shatter her fragile peace. Nothing big. I lied, the words sticking. Promise. He studied me, then shrugged, the trophy's absence from his hand feeling like a missing limb. Fine, but if it's about Dad. He trailed off, kicking a clod of dirt. Dad was our shared phantom, the one we invoked in tough spots. What would Harlan do? We joked during two-a-days. Now, knowing what I knew, it twisted like a knife. We trudged back to the truck in silence, the wipers slapping rhythm like a metronome to my guilt. Columbus called that afternoon orientation week at OSU, where the campus sprawled like a promise under scarlet and gray banners. Alex and I had roomed together freshman year, but this sophomore fall, he'd finagled a single in Morrison Tower for focus time, leaving me in the triple with two engineering nerds who blasted EDM at dawn. The drive up I-71 was our ritual. Windows down, Springsteen blasting Born to Run, cornfields blurring into suburbs. But today, the boss's howl felt accusatory, Bruce's gravel voice crooning about thunder roads and ties that bind. We unloaded in the shoe first. Ohio Stadium, our mecca, empty now but echoing with phantom cheers. Alex slapped the goalpost, his laugh forced. This is it, Ben. Pros after this. You'll be starting by October. He was right. Coach's letters of rec had greased the wheels, scouts buzzing since our senior showcase. Me? Back up for now, but with Reynolds' endorsement, the depth chart was mine to climb. We toured the weight room, spotting familiar faces. Jake Ramirez, our old Willow Creek wideout, now a Buckeye sophomore, his dreads tied back as he repped bench presses. Harlan squared. Jake boomed, dropping the bar with a clang that rattled my teeth. He bear-hugged us both, his energy a bomb. Jake had always been the glue, the one who mediated our twin spats, snuck us beers after curfew. And yeah, there was that undercurrent, the way his smile lingered on Alex during huddles, or how he'd ruffle my hair with a touch that sparked something unnamed. Gay? Bi? In high school, labels were for milk cartons, we were just kids chasing touchdowns. But college, that changed things. We crashed at Jake's off-campus crash pad that night. A shotgun house on Lane Avenue, walls vibrating from the neighbor's base. Pizza boxes piled like trophies, and we cracked domestics, toasting Coach with slurs that devolved into stories. Remember '08 regionals? Jake grinned, sprawled on the sagging couch. Coach benches me for dropping that slant, then makes me run suicides till I puke. Said it built character. Alex laughed, but his eyes were distant, the trophy back home a silent sentinel. I nursed my beer, the letter's weight invisible but crushing. As the night wore on, Jake pulled out his guitar, an old Fender he'd salvaged from a garage sale, and strummed Wonderwall, his voice husky from the smoke. Alex joined in, off-key but earnest, and I watched them, the firelight from a dying candle dancing on their faces. Something shifted then, a current under the melody. Jake's gaze locked on Alex, holding a beat too long, and my brother, my mirror, didn't look away. Heat flushed my neck, not jealousy exactly, but a tangle of envy and ache. I'd felt it before, in stolen glances at teammates, the forbidden thrill of a shoulder brush in the showers. But seeing it bloom between them, cracked my resolve. Ben? Earth to Ben. Jake's hand on my knee jolted me. You good, man? Look like you saw a ghost. I mumbled something about jet lag from the drive, but his touch lingered, warm through denim, stirring dust motes I'd long ignored. Alex noticed, his brow furrowing, but he covered with a yawn. Lights out, brothers camp tomorrow. In the spare room, a futon that smelled of patchouli and regret, Alex and I stripped to boxers, our ritual unchanged since childhood. He punched my shoulder. Spill it, QB. That letter's eating you. I turned away, feigning sleep. Tomorrow, I whispered. But tomorrow brought practice, and practice brought the field, where secrets fester like blisters under pads. Fall camp was a grinder. Sunup sprints, film sessions till your eyes crossed. The air thick with sweat and ambition. Coach Tress, our new position guru, barked orders like Reynolds reborn, but without the heart. Harlan, read the damn safety. He'd roar as I overthrew a post route. Alex thrived, his runs chewing clock, scouts scribbling in the stands. Jake and he paired up seamless, chemistry crackling like static before a storm. I'd catch them in the huddle, heads close, laughing over play calls, and it'd twist something in my gut. One evening, after a brutal 2-hour skull session, I holed up in the stacks at Thompson Library. The letter unfolded under the green lamp's glow. Rereading it, Dad's note pinned beneath like contraband. Tell the boys when the time's right. Was now right? With Alex riding high on the depth chart, Jake orbiting closer, I scrawled a reply in the margins. Coach, what if the truth fumbles us all? Childish, but it eased the knot. Jake found me there, 2 weeks in, rain pattering the windows like impatient fingers. Hiding from the glory, he slid into the corral, his hoodie damp, smelling of turf and axe. We talked football first, his dreams of the NFL, my fears of riding pine, then veered deeper. Miss Reynolds, he admitted, voice low. He got me, you know? Saw the real shit. I nodded, throat tight. Yeah, he did. His hand covered mine then, deliberate, thumb tracing my knuckle. And you, Ben? What's eating you? The touch was electric, forbidden fruit in the house of knowledge. I pulled back, but not before the spark ignited, questions I'd buried under bravado. Family stuff, I hedged. Dad, Coach, the usual Harlan mess. He leaned in, breath minty from gum. You're not your dad, Ben. Or Alex. You're you. The words hung, an invitation wrapped in understanding. I wanted to lean into it, let the library's hush swallow our confessions. But the letter burned, a siren call to caution. Night, Jake, I murmured, fleeing to the dorm, heart pounding like post-game adrenaline. That weekend, Willow Creek pulled us home, Mom's birthday, low-key with cake and cards. Alex drove, trophy buckled in the passenger seat like a third wheel. Jake's cool, right? He ventured, eyes on the road. Thinks you're solid. The subtext hummed. Was it pride or probing? Yeah, I said. Solid. Mom's party was quiet. Neighbors with bundt cakes, Uncle Ray grilling brats in the drizzle. Alex held court, trophy on display, but I saw the cracks. His laughs too loud, eyes scanning for escape. Later, on the porch swing, creaking under our weight, he cracked. Ben, I like him, Jake. More than brothers. The admission landed soft. A fumble recovered in bounds. My twin, out of the closet before me, brave in ways I'd envied. I know, I said, squeezing his shoulder. He's good for you. But inside, the letter screamed. Tell him. Betrayal loomed, a defender closing fast. As fireflies blinked in the yard, I weighed the snap. Hike it now or hold for the bomb. The bomb dropped midterms, when the Buckeye grind turned ferocious. Pop quizzes in econ that felt like blitzes, lab reports due at dawn. I buried myself in flashcards and film. The letter folded into my playbook like a forbidden play. Alex and Jake? They were electric, inseparable. Study sessions bleeding into late-night drives to the Scioto, where they'd park and talk dreams under the stars. I'd see them in the quad, hands brushing, Alex's grin unguarded for the first time since Coach's whistle fell silent. It should have been joy, my brother finding his stride off the field too. But envy gnawed, sharp as cleats on astroturf. One Thursday, post-lecture, Jake cornered me in the Union, vending machine humming between us. Ben, walk with me. His tone was gentle but firm. the kind Coach used for heart-to-hearts. We wandered to Mirror Lake, ducks quacking for crumbs, the air crisp with October's bite. Alex told me about your dad. He started, skipping stones across the water. The letters, the no-shows. Sucks, man. I nodded, throat dry. Dad's sporadic postcards were our private joke. Reno this time, boys. Hit me up for poker tips. But now, with the truth unearthed, they were shrapnel. It's more than that, I admitted, the words tumbling like a forced fumble. We sat on the dock's edge, legs dangling, the wood groaning. Jake waited, patient as a coverage scheme. Coach left me something. A letter. About Dad. About them. I handed it over, the paper creased from my grip. His eyes scanned, widening at Dad's note, then softening with that Ramirez empathy, the kind that saw through bullshit. Jesus, Ben. That's heavy. He folded it back, pressing it into my palm. Coach was by, you think? Or full on? The question hung, casual but loaded. In our world, football's macho cathedral, it was a minefield. Doesn't matter, I said, but it did. It reframed every pep talk, every I love you like sons, from Reynolds. Alex doesn't know. If he finds out, I kept it. Jake's hand found my shoulder, steady. You're protecting him. That's twin stuff. But secrets? They sack you from behind. His touch lingered, warm against the chill, and I didn't pull away. For the first time, the ache had a name, attraction, tangled with gratitude. What about you? I asked, voice rough. You and Alex. That's real. He smiled, rueful. Yeah, scary real. Came out last spring after Portland. He makes me brave. Portland, the away game where Jake had dropped a pass, Coach benching him hard. I'd seen the aftermath. Jake in the lot, tears mixing with rain, Alex consoling with clapped backs that turned to hugs. Now it clicked, the spark I'd ignored. We walked back in companionable silence, but the air crackled, unresolved. That night, in the dorm's fluorescent haze, I texted Alex. Need to talk. Tomorrow? His reply buzzed instant. Everything okay? Yeah. Just family. The lie tasted bitter but necessary. Homecoming pulled us to Willow Creek like gravity. The Cougars versus rivals from Dayton. The field strung with lights and the scent of funnel cakes. Mom waved from the bleachers, bundled in a scarlet poncho as Alex and I, alumni now, suited up for the halftime scrimmage, a nod to Coach's tradition. The crowd roared when we trotted out, the PA crackling. Harlan twins, back to light up the night. Jake tagged along, unofficial cheerleader, his presence a quiet anchor. The game was a nail-biter, Dayton up by 7 at the break, but our demo run, me slinging to Alex on a wheel route, drew cheers that shook the press box. Post-play, in the tunnel's dim glow, Alex pulled me aside, sweat slick and exhilarated. Feels right, doesn't it? Like Coach is watching. His eyes shone, vulnerable. I nodded, the letter a boulder in my gut. Alex, about Dad. But the whistle blew, halftime over, and the moment fumbled. Later, at the after-party in the old gym, streamers dangling like cobwebs, keg stands echoing off the rafters. Jake found us by the punch bowl. You two killed it, he said, clinking solo cups. Alex draped an arm around him, casual, but the claim was clear. Envy flared, hot and irrational. Not for Jake, but for their ease, the way love simplified them. I slipped out for air, the October frost nipping at my neck. The field loomed dark, goalposts ghostly under the moon. That's when Mom appeared, shawl clutched tight. Ben, honey, saw you brooding. What's eating my thinker? She was the one who'd held us through Dad's exits, her faith a quiet fortress. I wanted to unload the letter, the love, the limbo, but the words stuck. It's Coach, I said finally. He knew things about Dad, things that change. Everything. Her face paled, then softened with knowing. Your father was a complicated man, Ben. Loved fierce, ran scared. Coach? He was the steady one. Always. Did she know? The question died unspoken as headlights swept the lot. Uncle Ray hollering for pie. Back in Columbus, the dam cracked. Alex cornered me in the weight room, barbells clanking around us like accusations. You said talk. Spill. His stance was wide, defensive end ready. I pulled the letter from my locker, handing it over with hands that shook. He read in silence, face draining of color, then flushing crimson. This, Dad and Coach? Lovers? And you kept it. The hurt sliced, betrayal in stereo. Alex, I was protecting. Us? Or you? He crumpled the paper, hurling it at the mirror. It shattered a reflection, ours fractured. All this time, Coach's special talks with you. Was it pity? For the gay dad's kid. The assumption landed wrong. I hadn't outed myself, but the air thickened with it. No, it was love, Alex. There's ours. He wanted us whole. He stormed out, the door banging like a gun. Jake texted later. Give him space. He's reeling. But space was the field without lines, and I ran laps till dawn. Lungs burning, secrets spilling in sweat. The fallout was seismic. Alex ghosted practices, holed up with Jake, their bond a bunker. Whispers rippled the team. Harlan twins beefing? And Coach Tress pulled me aside. Sort your head, son. Field's no place for drama. I nodded, but inside, the play clock ticked. Betrayal wasn't just the letter. It was my delay, the fumble of timing. Thanksgiving loomed, Mom's table a neutral zone. We drove home separate, the I-71 miles a chasm. At the double-wide, turkey golden, Alex arrived late, eyes shadowed. Grace was tense, fork scraping. Boys, Mom said. Family's what we make. After pie in the garage amid Dad's dusty tools, Alex broke. I get it, Ben, keeping it, but it hurts, like losing Coach twice. We hugged then, clumsy, the kind that mends fences. I'm sorry, I whispered. And, Alex, I'm like Dad. In the love way. The confession slipped, light as confetti. He pulled back, grinning through tears. Knew it. Jake too? Huh. Relief flooded. Twin bond reforged. But Jake? That was the next snap. Winter quarter brought snowdrifts and secrets thawed. We'd study in his room now. Alex's single a revolving door. One night, post-midterm, beers cracked. Jake leaned in during a rom-com. Broke back, ironic choice. Ben, that lake talk. Meant it. His kiss was tentative, exploratory, tasting of hops and hope. I kissed back, fireworks under skin, but guilt shadowed. Alex's brother? My mirror's man? It exploded at the spring game tailgate, burgers charring, the horseshoe pulsing. Alex saw us by the truck, Jake's hand in mine, and the beer cup crumpled in his fist. What the fuck, Ben? The roar drowned in the crowd, but his eyes, betrayal redux. It's not. But it was. A stolen moment, a line crossed. He shoved past. Jake chasing. Alex, wait. I stood frozen, the field blurring. Coach's letter a prophecy fulfilled. Truths fragile as eggshells. The spring game whistle blew, but the real blitz was personal. Alex vanishing into the throng, Jake torn between chase and console. I stumbled through the stands, cheers mocking my chaos, the scarlet wave crashing oblivious. By halftime, texts lit my phone. Mom's everything okay? Boys? And Jake's, he's at the car. Pissed. Talk to him. The lot was a snarl of tailgates, grills smoking like peace pipes, but ours was a war zone. I found them by the F-150, Alex pacing gravel ruts, Jake a buffer with hands raised. Ben, Jake started voice low. We didn't plan. Save it, Alex snapped, whirling. His face was a storm front, hurt thunder, rage lightning. My twin, my best friend, poaching my. He trailed, the word unspoken, boyfriend. In our world, labels were loose, but this felt etched in stone. It wasn't poaching, I said, stepping close, the truck's fender cold at my back. Jake and I, it just happened. After the lake, I was lost. Alex, the letter, Dad, Coach. It all crashed. The admission poured, dam bursting. Alex's eyes flickered, understanding warring with wound. So you kiss my guy? That's your fix. Jake interjected, soft but steel. It takes two, man. I initiated. Ben's been carrying this alone. The defense landed, but Alex's laugh was bitter. Alone? We're twins, Jake. Or were. He climbed into the cab, slamming the door like a coffin lid. The engine roared, tires spitting as he peeled out, leaving us in exhaust and echoes. Jake pulled me into a hug, his heartbeat sinking mine. He'll cool. Harlan's don't stay mad. But doubt not. This betrayal cut deeper than Dad's or Coach's ghosts. We drove back silent. The radio's static a Greek chorus. The week blurred. Practices punishing, my throws wild as my head. Coach Tress benched me for a series, muttering, "Focus, Harlan." Off-field, Alex's dorm was Fort Knox. No visitors, texts unread. Jake mediated, his texts a lifeline. He's hurt, not hating. Give time. But time was the enemy. Spring thaw melting resolutions. Mom called Sunday, voice quaver. Your brother's not eating, Ben. Came home last night, slept in the garage. Willow Creek's pull was magnetic. I bolted. The 3-hour drive a confessional on wheels. Springsteen again. Thunder Road a dirge now. Mom met me at the door. Flour-dusted. Eyes red-rimmed. Fix it, honey. You're the thinker. Alex was in the backyard, tossing a faded Wilson against the shed. The thwack rhythmic as regret. I approached slow, hands open. Hey! He caught the ball, holding it like a grenade. What, Ben? Here for round 2. No. For us. I sat on the picnic table, legs swinging. I screwed up. Big time. Jake. It's not just rebound. I feel it too. The truth bared, raw as road rash. Alex deflated, ball rolling forgotten. So what? Share? Like when we were kids. Laughter cracked the tension. Fragile. God no. That's messed up. I paused, digging deep. The letter changed me, Alex. Made me see love's not a straight line. Pun intended. Dad ran from it. Coach hid it. I don't want to. He nodded, slow, the twin link humming. Me neither. But you and Jake? It's like stealing my playbook. Not stealing. Rewriting. We talked then. Hours bleeding into dusk. Fireflies winking approval. Dad's love. Coach's sacrifice. Our shared closet doors creaking open. I love him, Alex admitted. But maybe it's bigger than that. The seed planted. Polly? Open. In Ohio football heresy. But Harlan's bent rules. Jake arrived at week's end, summoned by text truce. We met at neutral ground, the old field, sunset gilding the lines. Awkward at first. Beers passed, apologies traded. I should have said something, Jake confessed, sitting cross-legged on the 50. After the kiss. But Ben's eyes. They said yes before his mouth did. Alex chuckled. Tension easing. Eyes, huh? Twins curse. We hashed it, boundaries, brutal honest. No secrets, no sidelines. It felt revolutionary, 3 hearts huddling against the world's sack. By dark, hands linked in a circle, the field our cathedral. To Reynolds, Alex toasted, who taught us plays we never ran. Summer scorched Columbus, internships and idle hours stretching like extra innings. We 3 navigated the new normal. Dates that tripled, movie nights tangled on the couch. Jealousy flickered. A glance held too long, a laugh exclusive. But we tackled it head-on, talks like film reviews. Alex and I roomed again, the single traded for a 2-bed off High Street. Jake a frequent ghost. Nights we'd grill on the fire escape. Stars pricking the sky, stories flowing. Jake's Portland coming out, whispered in a teammate's car. My first crush on the water boy, sophomore year, buried under bravado. But Willow Creek whispered warnings. Mom visited once, eyeing our closeness with arched brow. Boys seem cozy, she teased over lasagna, but her smile held questions. Uncle Ray, at the family picnic, clapped Jake's back too hard. Ramirez, still dodging passes? The subtext stung. Small-town code for know your lane. The real clash brewed at the Reynolds Memorial Game. Annual alumni match. Coach's legacy etched in the program. We suited up, scarlet jerseys crisp, the crowd a sea of familiar faces. Alex and I started, me at QB, him at RB, Jake slot receiver. The whistle blew, and we flew. Spirals connecting, yards churning, the field alive with what-ifs. Halftime, up 14, we huddled in the tunnel, sweat slick, invincible. Then the scout from Cleveland, burly guy in a polo, clipboard eternal, pulled Alex aside. Kid, you've got it. Vision burst. Pros calling. Alex beamed, but his glance to Jake and me held shadow. The dream was singular, spotlights narrow. Post-game win. Beers in the lot. He voiced it. What if I go? Draft day. You too. The question hung, a goal line stand. Jake squeezed his hand. We follow. Or wait, love's not a roster spot. I nodded, but fear flickered, separation specter. Dad's echo. Fall senior year ramped ruthless. Scouts swarming, bowls beckoning. Alex's stock soared. Mock drafts slotting him third round. Mine? Steady backup, solid but unspectacular. Jake, injury-plagued knee, pivoted to coaching dreams, grad school apps stacking. Our trio held, but strains showed. Alex's late nights with agents. My envy of his shine. Jake's quiet worry over futures forked. Thanksgiving tested. Home for the holiday, mom's table laden, but tension simmered. Uncle Ray, 3 beers in, cornered us by the TV, Buckeyes rerun blaring. Heard rumors, boys. Ramirez bunking with you twins? Town talks. Colorful. His wink was oil on water, homophobic undercurrent bubbling. Alex bristled. We're family, Ray. Drop it. But the seed sprouted doubt. Next day, hunting with Dad's old rifle, tradition, Ray insisted. The woods closed in. You 3, Ray grunted, sighting a deer that bolted. Ain't natural. Coached spin. The barb landed, Alex's face thunder. Back home. Blowout. Alex raging in the garage, tools flying. Fuck him. Fuck the town. Jake and I calmed, but the fracture widened. Willow Creek's judgment a siren song to hide. Winter break, crisis peaked. Alex's agent booked a combine in Indy, pre-draft showcase. High stakes. We drove, the van a pressure cooker. En route, blizzard hit, I-70 a wideout. Stranded at a Hoosier motel, power flickering. We 3 piled in one room, comforters shared. Talk turned raw, fears voiced, loves reaffirmed. If I go pro, Alex whispered, candlelight carving his face. Promise you'll be there, all of us. We will, Jake vowed, hand over heart. Mine joined, the pact sealed. That night, tangled in innocence. No more than holds and breaths. We dreamed collective. But betrayal's shadow lingered. Spring, draft eve, a letter arrived, not coaches, but Dad's. Postmarked Vegas, scrawled. Heard about Reynolds. Knew his secret. Proud of my boys, finally brave. Come see me. Ash. The address enclosed, a strip hotel. Alex stared, torn. He knows? About us. The us encompassed all. Twins, loves, truths unearthed. We debated. Confront or burn. Jake urged caution. Ghosts bite. But Harlan blood ran hot, we booked flights. Vegas was neon assault, the strip a fever dream. Dad waited in the lobby. Older, lined, but our mirror faded. Same cowlick, same grin. Sons. The hug was awkward, bone deep. Over blackjack, his treat, stories spilled. His flight from coach, the bottle years, AA rebirth. I was scared, boys, of love like that. But you're living it. He knew our trio, the town whispers. No judgment, just awe. Reynolds was right. You're stayers. Tears flowed. Forgiveness a full contact sport. Alex gripped his hand. Stay this time. Dad nodded. Trying. Back in Columbus. Renewed. But draft night loomed. Alex's name called, 4th round. Browns, Cleveland's prodigal. Cheers erupted. Our hotel suite a riot of hugs. Jake's kiss salt sweet with pride. My running back, he teased. My turn? Undrafted, free agent roulette. Heart sank, but they lifted. Backup's a start. We're a team. Summer scattered us. Alex to Cleveland OTAs, Jake grad apps, me tryouts in Canton. Letters bridged, dad's weekly cards, mom's care packages. But distance tested, calls strained by time zones. Jake and I visited Alex weekends, the lake house he rented a haven. One night, beers on the dock, fireflies dancing. Alex cracked. Missed this. Feels like fumble without. We recommitted, visits planned. Rings whispered, not yet, but soon. Fall found me on the practice squad, grinding while Alex debuted, a 60-yard scamper etched in highlights. Pride swelled, but ache too, the field without him. Climax crashed Thanksgiving. Alex's call, voice wrecked. Scout outed me. To the team. Said I'm distracted by that Ramirez thing. The word faggot unspoken but screamed. Rage boiled. We rallied, Jake and I driving through sleet to Cleveland. The confrontation, locker room shadows, Alex's coach defensive. Football's no place for complications. Words flew, ultimatums drawn. Alex stood tall. I'm out. All of me. Teammates split. Some sneered, others clapped backs. The league whispered. Endorsements waned, but supporters surged. Glad spots, ally letters. Winter hardened resolve. Dad visited, suit sharp, check in hand. For the fight. Mom rallied town, Willow Creek's pride parade small but fierce. We three, unbreakable, faced press with linked arms. Spring brought bloom. Alex's contract renegotiated. My call-up to backups. Jake's coaching gig at OSU. Vegas wedding. Dad officiating, a twist vows exchanged under neon. Alex and Jake first, me witness. Then Jake and I, Alex best man. Polly, proud. The town's gasp, a distant echo. Coach's grave, summer visit. We three knelt, letter read aloud, wind whistling approval. Legacy, Alex murmured. Humanistic close. Not perfect but played full out. Loves the game and we ran it true. Epilogue's not tidy. Life's no highlight reel. All glory no grind. A year post-draft, we're settled in a Cleveland split level. View of the lake that mirrors our mess. Alex starts for the Browns. His runs poetry in motion. The outcry faded to footnote. Jake coaches receivers at a Cleveland high, molding kids with Reynolds grit. His knee braced but spirit unbowed. Me, third-string QB but content, the Fields family now, not Forge. Mornings, coffee brews as we divvy chores. Alex on dishes, humming Springsteen. Jake on playlists, eclectic as us. Me on grocery runs, dodging fans who slap Alex's back through me. Nights tangle easy, board games devolving to tickle fights, or deep dives into what-ifs. What if coach lived? What if dad stayed sooner? Betrayals linger, scars not seams. Alex still flinches at Ray's calls. Uncle's silence a grudging peace. Mom visits monthly, her rosary beads now rainbow-strung. Pride swelling. Dad? Weekly FaceTimes from Reno, his AA chip polished for show. Forgiveness is reps, daily. One fall, Reynolds trophy ceremony, now annual high schoolers vying. We MC. The gym packed, banners crisp. A shy freshman wins, his speech stumbling. Coach taught heart. And mine's. Different, but strong. Cheers erupt, ours loudest. Backstage, Alex grips us. That's us, boys. Changed everything. The letter, framed in our hall, yellowed testament. It didn't end us, it evolved. From twins to triad, secrets to symphony. American as apple pie with a twist. Messy, bold, unbreakable. In the quiet hours, doubts whisper. League trades, grad school pulls, the pull of separate paths. But we huddle, call plays. Communication, compromise, the occasional Hail Mary kiss. Love's dramatic, suspense in every snap, emotional arcs that cliff-hang hearts. Yet humanistic core, we're human, flawed, fumbling forward. Last spring, Willow Creek honored us, street sign. Harlan Way, 3 names etched. We stood under it, hands linked, corn whispering benediction. To the game, Alex toasted. We echoed, eternal. And in that echo, coach's whistle blows, not end, but kick off anew.